Hello, this is my BT200X Coleman mini bike. I just wanted to give a report on my experience. I got the mod kits. You can get mod kits from either Go Power Sports or OMB Warehouse. I got some things from Go Power Sports. I got other things from OMB Warehouse. I took the governor out of this machine and put on a torque converter. So I did the torque converter mod, and the only thing I wanted to talk about was the throttle linkage issue, because if you remove the governor, now this is a similar motor to the Predator 212 that you can get at Harbor Freight. It's not exactly the same, but it's pretty similar. And there'll be a governor arm that comes out from underneath the fuel tank, and then there'll be some springs, some throttle springs, like idle return springs that connect to this governor arm. And when you pull the throttle, it actuates this little throttle butterfly here. And there's a pretty much in anyone that has to do that, you've got to MacGyver your own solution. So you have this throttle push rod, and so when I go back on the throttle linkage, when it pulls back, then that throttle push arm pushes back on the throttle butterfly, and that controls the air and fuel entering from the carburetor. And in addition to that, this spring is kind of an idle return spring. It's not good enough by itself, and a lot of people reuse the idle return spring that's attached to the governor, and they hook it up here, they hook it down here, or they drill a hole and hook it around here, or connect it somewhere. But I found this little spring here. It was actually like a Honda spring, and I hooked it here, and then I drilled a hole right here, and I hooked it there, and that seemed to be perfect. And it gives me full travel. And then when I let off on the throttle, springs back to idle, to the idle position on the butterfly, and then completely closed. Open, closed. So I just wanted to report on my findings on how I MacGyvered my own personal solution to this throttle linkage problem after the governor's been removed. Have fun.